There you go.
Okay, I think this will work. Alright, so today was definitely a marathon.
I also got Mario Portal and
my husband did come, and I had gotten some things for the visitors that we were having.
Physics,
Gave them some green tea and some candles in case they wanted to, you know, light them.
Nice hard foil catches.
So, you know, there was our throws. Which, by the way, I've seen that spelled with 2 R's and 1 R, so I don't know which it really is. Because, whatever. So, maybe Gambler would know. Anyhow. So, there was that. And, then, all of a sudden, it was time to go and stand, and of course it did. In the middle, I guess I didn't know that it was a special day regarding icons, which I think I really want to read about. And I thought that was really advantageous that that was the day where Yusuf sent me the information about that icon that's like stuck in my head. And so much so, and I don't know if I could do this or not, if it's like considered poor form or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Could I put that as my like avatar picture? Because I've seen other people with like icons for their avatars. Anyways, it would have to be that one because she's in my head. So my idea is that if all of a sudden I get her and I can look at her outside my head, that she's going to go away inside my head. So it was amazing, perfect, wonderful, and beautiful from the beginning to the end. The same thing always happens without fail. Okay. So then there was a break for like, I don't know, half an hour or something. And then it was time for the baptism. And, oh my gosh, was that baby cute. Anyways, it was really interesting because obviously I'd never been to that kind. I had been to only once before, and that was Catholic. But this was all completely for her. It wasn't like in the Catholic service, I think it was just something that happened during Mass and then like towards the end, and it was like 5 minutes or something, 10 minutes maybe. But this was an entire, like, there we were singing the litany again, you know. So it was like we had to start all over again, which is fine, you know. I love that anyways. So there were times when people were processing up and then processing back. And when the family was coming up to present the baby the first time, I seriously almost broke down. It was so beautiful, and I don't know what about that moment made it so touching, but it was. And I just stopped myself because you can't sing and cry at the same time. So I was glad I had to sing because it stopped me from crying. So then, you know, they took her toward the back, and even the priest had explained, okay, now we're going to start with an exorcism, and then he explained that, you know, we really don't think that, you know, babies are just filled with demons, but, you know, this is blah, 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 and he explained more about it and put it into perspective. So I have kind of a special feeling about that, though, because one of my relatives, he used to, and this was in Russia, it's what you call like a rabbi's rabbi, like the studied rabbi that teaches the rabbis. And one of his, I guess, activities or things that he used to take part in were exorcisms. And this is all the Jewish version too. And I mean, it was very rare, but yeah, he did them. And I always had a very special feeling about that relative, even though I never met him. Whenever my grandfather would talk about him, I don't know. So I guess maybe because of that I didn't feel weird that we were doing that, which, yeah, I could see why a lot of people would be like, oh, you've got to be kidding. No, not me. So then they took the baby forward, and there was a lot of vows, and I'd actually happened back there like, I do, I will, or something like that, you know, like, will you do this, will you do that? And a lot of things were said 3 times. Okay. And then the great aunt of the baby explained, well, she sings too, and she explains to me that the towel that they get has to never have been used by anybody else, that they use for the baby. So the priest did that, dipping her, and he didn't submerge her, but kept her just up to her neck and then would pour water over her head, so she didn't cry. And then they took her around 3 times. Now this was so interesting. The shape of what is a font, a baptismal font? I don't know. And I want to talk about the one that was Catholic that I saw yesterday, but I don't know what font means. But this thing looked like a big copper chalice or wine glass, but just like for a giant. So that was what it was, and that was kind of interesting. It was hammered on the outside, so it had that like interesting appearance. And then they processed her around 3 times, and I don't even remember all the details. It was very touching and very beautiful. So that was that, and it was really nice. So the one that I saw yesterday in the Catholic Church was kind of just very oddly shaped, and it wasn't like any more deep than like maybe 3 tiles or something. And I guess it's just because they pour the water over the baby's head and that's it. But it kind of also had like this higher part of it that like tumbled down the water or something. I don't know how to explain it. So I could go to Vespers tonight. That's the Greek one, and I found out that the Greek and the Greek Orthodox and the Antiochian kind of switch back and forth a lot of things, and they hang out together. So I think I'm way too tired to do that today, but I do definitely want to do that at some point. And then Wednesday I'll do another Pre-Sanctified and practice, so I'll probably sit and tell you about that if you want. But yeah, so that was that. Thanks everybody, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and bright blessings of peace on your heart.